right, we've been talking about it all week long. We played her song last week, which has been getting a lot of good responses from our listeners. And you guys obviously know we dig it. We love it here. So on the phone with us right now, we're going to get down to the realness. And it is the lovely, the fabulous Telisu. What's up?
Oh, what's up, guys? What's going on? 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요. What's going on with you, my dear?
Everything, love. I'm right now in Seoul, Korea. I'm at my home away from home, and just spending time here, meetings, hustling, doing my normal American girl hustle mode over here in
hard.
Asian market.
No doubt. We are all a fan of the hustling around here. No doubt about that.
I don't think you can live without hustling right about now.
We're in a recession. You have to hustle.
It's part of life. So
exactly. We got to do it. We got to hustle real hard. No doubt about that. So you're live in Seoul right now. The whole JYJ World Tour has wrapped up. Now you're just...
I know.
What's going to happen now that the tour is done?
Right now, I'm completely concentrating on my music more, having meetings over here in Seoul, trying to get out more as a K-pop artist. And we're not completely done. We're coming back. We're coming back in August. Mm-hmm. We're just on a hiatus right now, and the boys are doing some focus work on promotion and charity work, and we'll be back. Don't sweat it. We'll be back. It's not. It won't be a long pause, but we'll be back for sure.
Well, we'll definitely be waiting. That's for sure. So before we get into the JYJ stuff, I know a lot of fans are, they've got their JYJ's questions ready to go. But we definitely want to get to know about you. We want to know more about you. So how did you get started in the business? Because I know that you were just originally a dancer at first, and now you're branching off into the entertainment industry. So how did you get started?
I've been dancing since I was 2 years old. I took my first ballet class when I was 2. Basically, that transcended into me dancing all of my life and moving to LA right after high school and auditioning heavily for, tours and TV shows and all of that jazz. And basically started dancing for pop artists in America, and then that branched off into movies and TV shows and me acting. But yeah, my main start was dancing behind stars as one of the backup dancers, and then it was a blessing that I was able to come to the forefront. But definitely my base is a dancer, and it's so funny you said that, because a lot of times I get tweets about, oh, you're just a dancer, and I'm thinking to myself like, oh, I'm not just that. That's part of me, and that's my huge stepping stone. So it's always been something that I've loved to do, and that's a huge part of my spirit. But yeah, that's how I broke into the business, is as a dancer.
Now, I know that you've worked with Janet and Christina Aguilera. Let me just say, Janet Jackson is like my all-time idol. So right there, I'm jealous that you got even in her presence right there. So, what was like your first job, your first like dancing gig that you got that you were just like so stoked about?
My first dancing job was with Christina Aguilera. Matter of fact, we had auditioned for her, and we had booked Dirty. And I was like fresh off the boat, like literally my parents are signing this what do you call it, some kind of waiver when you're really not an adult and you're not supposed to be on set.
right
And I don't even know if this should come out of my mouth, but we were lying about my age and stuff like that, and that's how I booked my first job. My parents have always been cool. I've always, as a dancer, when you grow up, you're always away from home during the summers because you're always on like summer intensives in New York or wherever. And so it wasn't a big thing that they were like, okay, bye, here you are, 5 years old, going and leaving us and going on tour with Christina Aguilera type of thing. But yeah, that was my first gig. It was Christina Aguilera. That's what broke me into the business and got me the huge recognition was Dirty.
What's been like your biggest job so far that you don't think that anything will top that? Well, besides, you continuing on in your own singing and dancing and acting gig, what's been like your biggest job so far?
A lot of people would say Janet because, when you say you dance for any of the Jacksons, particularly Michael or Janet, it resonates this thing in people that don't even dance. They recognize it as being like, wow, you have to be top tier to even book that. And they understand the importance of it. But honestly, my most important job to this date is JYJ. Not negating any of that stuff, but dancing with them has brought so many other blessings to my life and has shown a spotlight on different things that I'm learning about and soaking in, and a different way of life for me. So I'd have to definitely say it's been JYJ. And just on top of that, just the adding on to things I've learned from Janet as far as like, the humbleness of an artist and the work ethic of an artist and how they're really supposed to be around their team and in rehearsal. That was, shown in JYJ as well, but definitely for me as a person and what it's done for me career-wise, for my spirit, for everything as a whole, my life, I would definitely have to say it's been JYJ.
Interesting. Since you've experienced the biz here in the U.S. and now you're starting to learn about the business over there in South Korea, what's been the comparisons or the contrast between the two?
The language. No.
Well, yeah, besides the obvious, yeah.
Obviously, it's definitely the language. The comparisons are, I would definitely say, working with JYJ, that's basically my only bridge with this and my only reference. But I would definitely say the work ethic is definitely something I think is more pronounced with the Asian artists that I've come to work with, just because of a discipline that's instilled with them early on, And I think sometimes that American artists feel that their relationship with the project and responsibilities stop, in the studio or at the video. But it's basically, it goes throughout the entire project. It's like if you come out in a movie as a character, you're that character the entire time. And I don't think American artists a lot of times realize that. There's very few that do. And I think those are the ones that are super successful. Gaga and Beyonce and a few others that realize that responsibility. But I think the Asian market, they have that down to a T. They really know what's up when it comes to that. As far as, I guess you would say that the thing that I also would compare would be the relationship that they have with the fans. That's different too in the American market. I think out here they have a different ownership and a different influence than the fans have in America. Not negating it in any way or form, but definitely there is a difference. It's more of the fans have a responsibility and they feel compelled to execute that in a much direct way. Like American fans wouldn't so much get in contact with management or any of the representatives to vocalize opinions. They would more so do it by album sales. If we don't like it, we don't agree with it or whatever, we just won't buy it.
Right.
But I think over here in this market that they definitely take an ownership and they vocalize to everyone that's involved in this situation. But other than that, those are the only two comparisons. There's still this love there. There's still this honor. There's still, a true relationship with the music. There's still that spiritual connection. I think that's why it happens. You know, that's why people become fans or even anti-fans. There is a connection there, regardless if you like it or you don't. You've connected with it in some form or fashion. I think the articulation is different over here, for sure.
That's definitely true about the fans in Korea being very vocal about their opinions. That's for sure.
I like that they're vocal.
Yes.
That's
yes.
putting it very nicely.
Yeah, I could say it in another form, but we'll just keep it nice and play nice and say yes.
Hold
They're
on.
very vocal.
And I'm gonna use a Janet line on you. Edit.
Yes, definitely. But
4, 3, 2, 1.
girl, don't make me. I will start in the dance moves. I know the moves. I know the moves.
You know it. I love that. That's awesome. It's so funny because I always get picked as, I don't know what it is. I always get, I don't know, it's like a kindred spirit, like being a Janet baby, you know, being a Janet kid. Something always comes back to that. And that's an amazing little nucleus, because it's so amazing. Like when you become a dancer with an artist, it's this thing that happens on stage, and it's rather indescribable, where everybody's childhood dreams like completely hit off every night at a certain point in time when the stage lights hits. You know, it transcends into something really amazing when you're there. And to share that with someone that really has hit, you know, their top tier and really hit their level of dreams, it's amazing to be a part of that. And it's very few people, when you look at it in the world, that get to be on stage with this particular artist and get to have this relationship. So it's really, really precious. So every time I get referenced back to Janet, it's amazing to me, but B, it really brings me back there where, you know, the first time you hit the stage and your heart's beating out of your chest and you're looking at your chest like, oh my God, I can see my actual costume like pounding, you know, like This is really going down. Janet Jackson is 2 inches away from me. Matter of fact, we held hands and walked on the stage. Like all this stuff is going through your head, but it's really awesome to refer back to that because of how amazing that is to say and to be a part of. That's why when people are like, oh, you're just a dancer, and in my head, I honestly laugh to myself. I'm like, yeah, I'm just a dancer that literally gets to have these amazing experiences with these amazing people, and I get to live a dream. Yeah, I'm just a dancer. That's awesome, if that's what you want to call it.
I'd be a dancer any day.